Hi, Gordon here with another edition of the Unscripted Series. And this week, I'm going to talk to you about how, if you're building instruments, how can you reduce the material and supply cost, your direct cost of those instruments? And the answer is, well, you really can't. Now, that's a little bit of a fake answer, because at the end of the video, if you wait, I'll tell you there is one way to do it. But, early on when we started building, I looked at the costs and thought, well, what can I do to reduce it? And you look at all the materials, the wood and the supplies and things like sandpaper. And I started looking at alternate sources and places where we could buy different lower cost supplies. And sandpaper is a really good example. This sandpaper from Mirka costs us 30 cents a sheet. We use other paper that costs over 50 cents a sheet. And we use in the order of 10 of those sheets on every ukulele. That's a lot of money in sandpaper that we're going through on every ukulele, and imagine how much it is every year. So of course, I'd go and say, well, I can find this other stuff for 10 cents a sheet. And you try it and you find out that it's not very high quality. You're going through even more sandpaper, so that's generating a lot of waste, but also, especially in the case of sandpaper, but there's other examples of as well, be it glue or what have you, that having a poor quality product means that it may in fact reflect on the end quality of the ukulele. So it's really true of everything we do, be it the wood from our suppliers or any of the supplies that we use, the neck wood or the fingerboard wood. I would advise you to find the best quality that you can and stick with that, because it's going to reflect itself in the end quality of the instrument. And at the end of the day, I think what we're all after is having the best consistency and quality possible. So I told you there is one way to reduce cost. And what is that? And the way is to buy in volume. Early on, we went to each of our suppliers and we said, all right, what if we commit to you as a supplier, and what is the lowest price that we can get? What volume do we have to buy in? And that's the volume that we try to buy in, and we do today. It's a great place, I think, to have our working capital. We could have it in the bank, but at today's interest rates, we're not going to make much money. So if you'll follow me this way, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of this. I told you about sandpaper. So here's our sandpaper storage. And we've got, a lot of sandpaper, boxes upon boxes. Look at all those boxes of 600 grit sandpaper. That is, let's see, 50 instruments. So 100, 200, 300, 400, more than 1 year's worth, a year and a half worth of sandpaper. But it allowed us to get the lowest possible price from our sandpaper supplier without changing the product that we used. Am I challenging you as a videographer? I love that. Questionable?
Yeah.
So just yesterday, I got in our shipment of K&K twin spot pickups. I order those 40 at a time because, again, it allows K&K, they don't have to retail package, they can just put it in Ziploc containers. We reduce our shipping costs, we reduce their handling costs. It works perfectly. So if you're trying to reduce the cost of your instruments, my suggestion is don't affect the quality of your materials and supplies, but do talk with your suppliers about what you can do to drive down their price by increasing your volume. Thanks, and I'll see you next week on another edition of the Unscripted Series. Bye-bye.